This area, the Branchville area, was originally known as the Branch because of a huge oak tree that the Cherokee Indians used as a kind of distribution point for when they sold their wares or went on any kind of hunting treks or anything like that, or held councils. And it became a settlement area for white immigrants from Europe who had come from Switzerland primarily. They were Swiss German. Some may have come from Bavaria, but most from Switzerland. And then there was a Scottish element that came in here. These were Scottish traders who traded with the Cherokee. And because women were scarce, white women were scarce, they oftentimes picked Cherokee women for wives. And you can find in this particular graveyard, it's called the Ott Cemetery, but you can find quite a few people of Scottish descendancy here, like the McElhaney's would be a good example of that. And so this is an interesting area. It's not only interesting because of that, but also it was the world's first railroad junction, served by maybe the first railroad in America. It is controversial. The Baltimore and Ohio tries to take that claim. They both were established nearly at the same time, but there's no dispute that the Branchville Junction was the first railroad junction in the world, as well as the United States. Okay, this is the Ott burial ground, going back to really the days, the mid-19th century and earlier. And the first one up here is O.H. Ott, Oliver H. Ott, who married Harriet Chartrand, and that was the connection between the Ott family and the Chartrands. This is the Chartrand burial compound, and some of the people I am familiar with and some I'm not. This particular headstone here is the headstone of Philip Chartrand, who's written about in the book Saturday and the Witch Woman. Philip Chartrand, one of the escapees from the Great Slave Rebellion in Haiti, and he was also mentored and fathered, in the real sense of the word fathered, by Saturday, the slave that had saved him. And Philip came to Charleston from Haiti, where his mother was slaughtered, along with 250,000 other people. But Saturday got him out along with his brother John. They came to Charleston, and there Saturday raised them as his own children. Of course, Saturday was very saddened when both boys became slaveholders again. John by choice, and I think Philip by greed. Philip bought slaves to provide cheap labor for his garden in Charleston, his public garden, where a lot of public entertainment went on and that sort of thing. It was very common in Charleston. But his great venture in horticulture ended in 1829 when Tivoli Gardens, the gardens that he had founded, went bankrupt. And he came to the Branch, because he had fallen in love with Lavinia Langstaff, who had gone to a private school in Charleston. He spotted her, he followed her, he realized that she lived up in this area called the Branch. He eventually began to pursue her, and they were married in 1830, and he moved here, became station master at the railroad station, and also owned a restaurant called the Branch Eatery, which moved into the depot, which is still in business today. This is the tombstone of William Penn Bassone, Philip Chartrand's best friend. William Penn Bassone was Philip's best friend in Charleston. He owned a grog shop there. He had been abandoned by his father. His mother was dead, and Philip filled the role of a surrogate father, I think, and Philip was very taken by Basson and Basson him. So their friendship lasted. As far as I can tell, Philip was about 10 years older than William Penn. He managed their plantation, and the plantation at its peak had 93 slaves. But Basson died of yellow fever about a year or two after he came here. We're standing in front of the depot where the restaurant is housed, the eatery at the depot. The owner is Norris Jarrett, and he's also the chief chef of the fine restaurant that has continued the tradition of fine foods begun by my grandfather 200 years ago. This is where descendants of the Chartrons and the Otts and the McElhaney's and the Berries and the Ferries, all the people that are in this book, came to celebrate its reading and the signing of the book at the very railroad station where the story was told by Philip as he read, or at least told by Saturday as Philip read his letters to his wife and an old slave cook in the depot kitchen. And it was a very sweet occasion. The people loved to reconnect to their past, and we had a very fine book signing of Saturday in Richmond.
Hey, my name is Jenny Thompson, Jenny McElhaney Thompson, and all my life I can remember my daddy talking about Philip Chartrand, and now I'm going to call him Philip Chartrand after hearing that reading today. But I just remember that he was related to us through marriage. He had married somebody in my family, Susan Elizabeth, and I was so intrigued even as a kid and was so excited when I saw that Mr. Ott was going to be here and had written this book. I bought the book a couple weeks ago. I haven't read it all, but I've read some, and my husband's read it all. I can't wait to read it now. And thanks y'all for sharing the story.
I appreciate the graciousness of the people of Branchville, many of whom were the descendants of the Chartrons and the Otts, who hosted the meeting here at the railroad depot and helped to make our book tour a success. Thank you.